got some new awards for my businesses. I'm not sure if they're gonna fit all on the wall here. This one's for $10 million cash collected. This one's for also $10 million cash collected. 1 million, 1 million, 1 million each. 5 million cash collected, 1 million, and also 1 million right there. I've made multiple seven figures with 3 of my own businesses. First one in the dating and personal development B2C niche, tender age of 26, then business consulting, and now the brand consulting company. And I've not only done this for myself 3 times to prove that it wasn't luck, but I've also done this dozens of times for my clients. We're gonna show some of them on screen here. And I want you to do the same, so I'm gonna break it down by the different categories you need to master in order to scale to multiple 7 figures a year. I'm assuming already you have a high ticket coaching or consulting offer. I'm assuming already you got proof of concept and you're roughly making, 50K-ish a month, and you want to scale this whole thing up to 100K plus a month. Number one, let's talk about traffic. Traffic is the most obvious thing that you need to fix, obviously, first, because you need enough people to come to you to want to buy your coaching or your service. Generally speaking, though, the biggest mistake I see folks make at that level is they're not adhering to the rule of 1. The rule of 1 basically means stick to a single traffic source first. If I think of all the clients that have helped to 100K plus a month, it was usually always a singular platform that got them there. And it was usually them trying to balance 3 different platforms at first, only for me to then tell them drop 2, focus on a single one, and go all in on that. So usually when you're roughly at the 50K a month mark already, you're probably doing maybe direct outreach, a mix of organic, maybe you're adding paid advertising to it, and you got your hands, spinning too many plates at once. Cut out most of the BS that is not bringing you most results. It's very, very rare that if you're having 2 different traffic sources, that it's a 50-50 distribution. Or if you have 3 different traffic sources, then it's a 30-30-30 distribution. Usually it's like 70% one source, 30% the other source. And usually that one source that brings you 70% has much more momentum behind it and has, gives you much more buck for your bang, so to speak. The problem, I believe, why that is, especially for business owners around the 50K a month mark, is because of shiny object syndrome. I get it. You're waiting for your Uber and you're scrolling through Instagram, and then you see guru number 1 talking all about, oh yeah, I do everything organic, it's so great, it's all for free, yada, yada, yada. And then 2 days later, you see guru number 2, and they're like, oh yeah, paid advertising is everything. And you're like, well, okay, let's do paid advertising. And now you got your hands in all of those things, and one guy says LinkedIn, the other guy says Instagram. The whole thing is, it doesn't matter, because what matters is that all of these platforms can work. What matters is, how can you work on that in the most consistent way possible? It's the same with dieting. What's the best diet in the world? Well, it's the one that you can stick to the most effortlessly and for the longest amount of time. So whether your main platform is LinkedIn because you like article writing, or it's Instagram because you like making short form videos, or it's YouTube because you like going on rants like I do, doesn't matter. Stick to the one thing that is the easiest for you to execute on, that also gets you the most leads. That is the only thing that really, really matters. Now, the thing is, with getting to 100K a month, you probably want to get paid advertising in to that mix sooner or later. But I'm not contradicting myself here, because paid advertising is usually something that adds fuel to an already existing fire. It's a multiplier, so to speak. So if your main platform is LinkedIn, well, start paid advertising on LinkedIn, either via actual cold traffic ads or via you boosting your best performing content. If your main platform is Instagram, then go start paying for paid shoutouts or run advertising on Instagram. So paid ads is not a funnel in and of itself. Ideally, it is ideally an amplifying factor. That brings me to offer delivery. Because obviously, as you're making more and more money and you're getting more and more clients, your offer delivery needs to actually become better and better and better, not the other way around. So if you have a high-ticket coaching or consulting offer, it's probably really awesome at first if you only have 1 client, right? Because you can over-deliver to this 1 client. But then all of a sudden, you get 10 clients a month, 20 clients a month, 30 clients a month, depending on your price point. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, well now delivery has to suffer, right? Because I have more people, right? Wrong. You need to understand that it's your responsibility on a meta level to make your offer continuously better with the extra money that you're making. So a lot of the extra money that you're making shouldn't be pocketed by you. It should actually be given back to the clients. Not because I'm a good Samaritan, I want everybody to be happy. I mean, I do. But at the same time, because it actually makes you more money in the long run. There's an extra video I made right on this channel about crafting irresistible 500K plus a month offers. Go check that. I'm not gonna go too deep into this, but you have to understand, number one, that you do not ever wanna compete with price. If anything, you wanna stand out by having a way higher price than what's industry standard. But you also want to over-deliver on that price. So even when people come in and say, well, this is like triple what everybody else has been asking of me, they should have a so-called wow factor. They should come in and say, well, this is triple the price, but the value I'm getting is like way beyond triple. It's, quadruple or quintuple. So another meta thought that I recommend you have here is try to over-deliver as much as possible and only then worry about how to deliver that at scale. All right, I'm gonna give you one example from my latest offer that I helped scale to multi-7 figures a year now. And the way we over-delivered here is we said, okay, first of all, we need to have everything one-on-one. And I don't care how we're gonna make it work, but we have to make it work. And everybody in my staff said like, but hold on a second, if you want to scale to $1 million a month, that means about 100 to 150 new high ticket clients per month. Like how the hell are all of them going to get one-on-ones? So I said, well, we just need to hire enough staff. We need to train the staff. We need to have a continuous recruiting funnel of really, really good experts. And we need to make sure that they're supported with perfect structure, perfect infrastructure, perfect internal training and everything. I didn't care about how complicated it was at first. I just said I want one-on-one for everybody. And I don't care how we're gonna figure out, but we're gonna have to figure it out. So the cool thing with this is it kind of puts you as the business owner into a position where there's no way out. Like you already made the decision to make everything one-on-one. So you're putting positive pressure on you to then just figure it out. Another thing that we started doing is we said, okay, like how can we do as much of the work possible for our clients? In my head, I had this random idea in my head of like, let's make it 80% done for you. Like I just kept coming up with this. Like I want clients to come in and like 80% of the burden, 80% of the hustle is done for them. How? I didn't know yet. So I had to figure it out over weeks to really get there. But because I put that positive pressure on me, I eventually figured it out. And same goes for all the AI tools that we started implementing for this offer. Like I knew AI is going to be the future, so to speak. It's going to be a contributing factor. And I'm by no means an AI expert, but what I just did is like I started selling really well, and then with that money, instead of pocketing it, I would give it out to some of the best AI developers I could find. And I said, here's a ton of money. Can you build this for me? Some of them said yes, some of them said no, some of them said they need more money, and I'm like, good, here it is. Let's make things better, because with great power comes great responsibility, and that's basically Spider-Man quote. That's basically what you have to understand here when you want to scale to $1 million a month, or in this case, just to multiple 7 figures. It's already pretty freaking cool, So anyways, let's get back to that wow factor that I mentioned earlier. A lot of folks nowadays, especially the younger entrepreneurs, they just want to make as much money on the front end and then just kind of like get away with as much as possible on the back end. And then, when people come in, they've been sold for a very high price. And then in an ideal world, I guess, they're going to be like, oh, well, okay, this program is not what I thought it was going to be, but it's good enough, I guess. That's not satisfactory. You want to have the wow factor where people come in and regardless of what they pay, in the first week, in the first month, they're just like, wow. This is so much better than what I thought. This is so much more epic. And a great contributing factor to that is what we call speed to first win. This is an incredibly important metric, and you can actually measure that within your company by defining the first win that you want the average client to realistically get. So whatever, if your offer is, weight loss, the first win would be, the first week of clean eating, the first week of going to exercise every day. It should be a very, very simple win. Not like a crazy win, like, the first 10 pounds lost. It should be an attainable win, and it should be quick. Like, you want people to get that first win within the first week maximum already. So the faster or the shorter the timeline between them getting onboarded and them receiving their first win is a very important deciding factor behind client satisfaction. And then as a following effect of that, it's going to be the contributing factor to how fast you're going to get referrals, positive testimonials, and more fodder for your marketing, so to speak. You want to systemize value delivery. Obviously, there's another great video on this very channel. I think it's called like, I helped this guy scale to 500K a month or something like that. Go check it out. We're going to link it somewhere here. You want to systemize value delivery in the same way that you want to systemize your sales department. I have a little crystal ball here, and that tells me that probably you've got systemized the lead generation and the sales at a very high level, but you don't really have that with the delivery. So, when new leads come in, you know exactly speed to lead, how many dials everybody needs to do, the KPIs of the setters, of the closers. And then for the coaches or the delivery part, you're like, yeah, you know what, you guys do what you got to do, right? You want to systemize that as well. You want to send out client satisfaction forms every single week. You want to track that. You want to put numbers on that, and you want to KPI your delivery staff on that. Right? I might make an extra video on that as well to go really, really deep on that. If you want me to make this, comment down below. I know this video is going to get like 50 views or something like that, but if you're watching this and you want me to talk more about client delivery systemization so your clients are continuously happy, give me a hell yeah down in the chat below, in the comments, and then I'll see what I can do. I'm busy, but I'll try. Anyways, you also want to realize that it's not just about systemizing the value delivery, but also systemizing the value extraction for marketing, right? You want to have ascension stages tied to bonuses for the CSMs. So CSM, the client success managers, the coaches, they get bonuses when a client reaches certain stages, certain milestones. So the CSMs are directly involved in their client success, which then leads to more results, which then leads to more marketing, which then feeds into higher prices and continuous defeating of your competition, and you can just dominate more and more and more and more. Now, that brings me to the next thing that you need to work on, and that is team. The biggest problem I see a lot of entrepreneurs make at roughly the 50K a month mark is they're hiring out of scarcity, because when you're making 50K a month, you're probably gonna have to hire help. Maybe a lead generator, maybe a salesperson, maybe someone that helps you with the coaching side of things, maybe just a VA. And the problem is a lot of people, they're like, okay, shit, I can't scale. I need to hire someone, and I need to hire someone fast. Ergo, I'm in scarcity. I need them quickly, and I cannot do it without them. And the problem when you hire out of scarcity is you're always going to overlook red flags, and you're never going to hire people that are, a fuck yeah candidate, so to speak. Excuse my language. So the way to fix that is pretty simple. You need to build a recruiting engine. Even if it's just a simple recruiting engine. It sounds super scary, but you gotta realize that's the only way, and ultimately that actually saves you much more time than you just hiring on the spot whenever you need someone. So even if you're at 50K a month, ABH, always be hiring. Even if you don't have a position open, be hiring until you have at least 3 to 5 people that you would love to hire, like on the waiting bench, so to speak. And with that, I'm always super transparent as well. I literally tell people right in the hiring process, hey, just so you know, the position is currently covered, but I'm still looking at candidates, because you never know how quickly we need someone. Maybe the current position, the person is in there is not going to perform. Maybe we're scaling super fast. So if you still want to hop on an interview, I'd love to do it. If not, totally fine as well. I've never had anybody say no. They're all like, cool, let's still hop on an interview. And then on the interview, I still already make the decision whether or not I potentially want to work with that person. And if it's a yes, I'm telling them like, listen, I think everything would look pretty good. Like I said before, I cannot offer you the position yet, but you'll be the first in line to know, or the second or the third in line. Be honest and be transparent about that, but always be hiring. And I get it, you got your hands full with sales, with marketing, with delivery already, but take that time, interview 1 to 2 new people every single week, because you're gonna want to have that person on the waiting bench ready to jump in the moment you're ready to scale. And the thing is here again, that prevents you from hiring out of scarcity. Whenever you do need that position, you now have the choice, you now have the abundance of choice, and you can pick only people that are so-called hell yeah or fuck yeah candidates. Generally speaking, whenever you talk to someone and you're like, yeah, they could be great, I guess. Yeah, I'll try it. It's never going to work. Trust your gut feeling on that. Even if you're new as an entrepreneur, trust your gut feeling on that. You're not going to be wrong. Only hire someone when you're sitting there and you're like, fuck yeah, I want that person in my company. That's usually a great sign, and your gut feeling will develop and get more and more accurate with that. And then of course you want to tie all positions to clear KPIs. This was a mistake I've made for a very, very long time, where it was always just like kind of like I'll wing it. Like whenever someone performs well, I'll give them a bonus, or I'll get them to a better position. But the problem is, not only is it unclear for you, because sometimes your perception is going to be skewed, but it's also unclear for the people working with you. And I noticed this as well. The better someone is, the more they will be inclined to gonna want to have a clear career path in front of them. A general A player is always going to want to have a career path, and they want to have that career path not based on like randomness, but they want to have it based on specific KPIs. Hey, when will I be able to get a raise whenever I have this KPI reached? When will I be able to get in a higher position, get better leads as a closer or setter, get more advanced opportunities? Well, you always want to connect that to specific KPIs. And that brings me to, well, hold on a second, Max, how do I even attract A players in my company anyway? Well, the easy thing here is you have to see your company and the whole, hiring pool as a market, and your company has market value within that. An A player is not gonna go to your company if your company isn't an A player company, an A player worthy company, so to speak. Just like the Victoria's Secret supermodel is unlikely to date you if you're broke and have a hygiene problem, right? I don't care how much it is about inner values, but this is a fucking market here, okay? That's just the reality of how it is. Sorry if this offends you, but if your company doesn't have clear KPIs, if your company is not being led by you properly, if you're slacking off, if you're not presenting your company in the best possible way, if you're not taken seriously, there's no structures, no internal trainings, no KPI, no culture, an A player is not gonna want to work with you. So this is kind of difficult to start if you don't have any A players in your company yet, right? Because a lot of A players will want to work with other A players, but you can still increase your market value by doing certain things. Just a couple examples. You can do all of those or some of those, depends on the position, depends on the market. Number one, pay well. If you pay a little better than what's industry standard, that helps. Chances if you're only making $50K a month for you to be able to pay well, it's probably not gonna happen. But there's a bunch of other things you can still do, and that is having a great company culture. A big thing why we were able to snag A players as setters and closers and coaches into our company was because they said, hey, even though you guys are, maybe not as far ahead back in the days when we were at like 100K a month, maybe you guys are not able to pay me as well, but I believe in your guys' mission. I can see just the structure, the scorecard that you guys are sending me, by how structured and great the communication is during the hiring process. I could see you guys are great. Like there's a lot of structure in there and I love this. And then when they start speaking to other employees and they're all, they have the fire inside, they're motivated, they can see, okay, there's a great company culture in there. There's daily meetings, there's great competition in there, positive competition. Everybody's striving to get better. Everybody's over delivering. What do you mean everybody works more than 8 hours a day? That's fantastic. I want to be part of that culture. So that's another great way through which you can stand out from the crowd, even if you're just relatively new in your industry. And that brings you to the last part, and this is by far the biggest lever that's going to help you, go from 100K a month to 300K a month, 400, 500K a month, and that is leadership and partners. I'm going to keep this very simple and to the point, just so you do not have any excuses to maybe misunderstand me. Get the best people you can find. Keep finding the best people. Keep finding better people. Go to masterminds, network, and just keep talking to the best people you can find. Try to get them into the company. Pay them well. This is usually by giving them a chunk of your profits or of your revenue. Fuck base salaries. I mean, give them base salaries as well, but tie more money to the success of the company. Pay them well. I've had this so many times where a friend of mine or a colleague of mine, they're making, 300, 400,000 a month, and the marketer or the partner that they hired, they got like 10, 20, 30, 50% from that. And as they were making more and more money, they're like, oh my God, I'm paying this random marketer of mine $250,000 each and every month. That's so much money. I don't care. If they're good, pay them well. It's gonna make you more money. And so many times my friends would then fire that person because they wouldn't want to part with the 250K a month, and now they're back at 200K a month, 100K a month, and they suck and they make less money. That's the crazy part. They make less money at the end of the day than when they would give 50, 30, 25% to their partner. So get the best people, pay them well, and then let them cook. I know this is your baby. I know you brought this thing up from zero, but assuming you pay people well and you get really good people, let them cook. They probably know their stuff better than you. trust in that. You have to develop that trust, no doubt about that. You have to continue working with them very, very closely, especially in the beginning. But once they're cooking, let them cook. Be involved in it. Ask them for their opinions, but let them cook. And then pay them even better. As your market value increases, you want to start paying them even better. Again, ideally, they have profit share, revenue share anyways, and they start making more and more money anyways, but that is how you dominate. You cannot climb this crazy mountain of entrepreneurship to $1 million a month, 500K a month alone. You cannot. I don't care how hard you worked. I don't care how awesome you are. You cannot do this alone. Get awesome people on. So these are a bunch of things that are going to help you scale to 500K plus a month. These are kind of the lessons that I've been learning over the past couple of years that helped me scale to multiple seven figures repeatedly without sacrificing my lifestyle. And I've been doing all of this while traveling the world, while having a hell of a good time with my fiance, with my brother, with my sister, with my parents, because I'm doing things the smart way. It's not just about grinding. It's about doing it smart. If you want to work with me directly, link down in the description below. If you want to execute, I salute you. I'm rooting for you through the power of the internet. I got a lot of love for you. And let's crush. Cheers.